So it is nearly time for the state of play. I will say that they have confirmed 15 minutes of new Suicide Squad gameplay, which I think is going to be very well timed because that game is about 3 months away from release. They had the games as service leak a couple of weeks ago, which I think really put a dampener on the hype for that game. But it's still rock steady. I still have faith. They're a super talented team, so I want to see some. Let's get to see some fresh new gameplay to get us back on the Suicide Squad bandwagon. Hopefully, it's good. And yeah, as Mitch says in the chat, I would have to imagine pre-orders go live, and they must be fairly confident they're going to hit their date because it's 3 months out, I would say. So hopefully they hit it. And I was going to talk about some of the rumors, but just like a Nintendo Direct, every time there's a state of play, the same rumors circulate, and it's just, I think it's all bullshit. I mean, some people, for some reason, are hoping for a new Metal Gear or a Metal Gear remaster. I don't think so. Like, is that literally just wishful thinking? I don't know, but I have no... they haven't teased too much. They said 10... No, they said 5 VR games? I don't know. We'll find out. It's about to start. Sony's track record with these is pretty mixed. Some of them have been good. Some of them have not been good. But I think they have gotten better. Their first couple of state of plays were not great at all. But the last few have been alright. I will say that it feels like we're waiting for a big leap forward in VR that has not come yet. But all the reviews have still made me want a PSVR 2 because it seems kind of like, hey, this is still the VR you know and recognize, but it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick by all accounts.
2023. We've got a lot to show you, including an in-depth demo of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But first, PlayStation VR 2 is finally here. Let's dive right in with a look at 5 games arriving on PlayStation VR 2 this year.
I got a lot of Jeff Gerstmann content backlog that I need to get to soon. He's like the guy I follow who is the most bullish on VR, but is also the most... He's bullish on it, but also very cynical about the way it's played out. So I read his written write-up of PSVR 2. He did a stream yesterday and a podcast, and I'm looking forward to checking it out, because his takes on VR are the most on the money for me.
They'll get you killed out there. Remember what we shook on.
Oh, Mitch, you got it. That's right, yeah. Is this your first VR experience? It can be nauseating. It can be very intense the first time you do it. Especially because it seems like the pitch with PSVR 2 is super high fidelity cameras, and they're not cameras, screens. They're big and they're 4K and they're HDR and they're in your fucking face. I can imagine for your first one. I've heard that the ceiling on the headset is very good, but good is also very intense, right? Because you're very sealed off from everything, you know. Yeah, as Garrett says, I think that's a good point. I can't think of a general hardware release lately that has kind of just eked out like this. But like I was saying, the reviews are all good. It looks like a really good version of what we currently understand VR to be. I think people are kind of waiting for the next new VR thing, you know what I mean? The PSVR went almost wireless. It has one wire connected to the PS5, but for all intents and purposes, they're doing the Oculus Quest thing. That's great. It's great that they're doing that, but other than that, it doesn't seem like, you know, when it comes down to price, I'll probably get one because I do really like VR, and I will never buy another Oculus product because Facebooked the fuck out of that last one I bought. So
come in, please. I need you.
Green Hell VR, is that an existing franchise? The thing that these companies always show in trailers, and they should because it's the best stuff, loading guns and shit in VR is cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, that stuff is always cool. Like the first time you load a gun and you have to manually do the pull back the hammer, that shit is great. You know what I mean? But again, in terms of talking about how we're waiting for the next big VR innovation, that stuff's been in these things for a very long time now. Do you know what I mean? Okay, this is looking PsyOps. Okay, it's giving PsyOps. I am listening. PsyOps VR. Okay. Okay, this is kind of sick. Okay. Okay. Okay, you're getting telekinesis to fuck out of my way. Yes, okay. Okay, this is good. I'm back in. I'm back in. I'm back in. Synapse. That is a horrendous name. But that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Mitch says, I don't think we're getting Half-Life. Alex, listen. Valve's a fucking weird company. It wouldn't... honestly, it would not shock me. I mean, it would be surprising, but it wouldn't shock me.
This may be hard to hear. The Empire will fall. Our galaxy will be plunged into 30,000 years of chaos and war.
Thank you for saving us the Emperor Dragon.
We can't stop it.
Oh, hell yeah. Some Vertigo in VR. We love it.
To save humanity.
Based on the iconic book series by Isaac Asimov. You know what? I've heard that name, but I don't know what this franchise is. So am I a Philistine for that?
So, will you fight for a dying empire? Or help us to reach Foundation?
Journey to Foundation. Again, not a great name, but I guess that's tying into an existing IP, so, you know.
You see that tower out there? Big, scary one? That's where I'm taking you to see the Gatekeeper. To be judged. Your
Apple made a
life.
series about it, okay.
You're gonna show it to me. Just think back to the very beginning, the first thing that you can remember.
Oh, is this a
Every time you
eye
blink,
tracking?
you're
Yes.
going to jump forward in time.
So for those of you who did not read the reviews, PSVR 2 has eye tracking.
Over here.
And apparently not only does it have, it's good, like it works, it's really good apparently.
It's Chloe, your neighbor.
The only way to fight against time is to create a work of genius, which might live on after you're gone.
This is I like that people are going in on those features.
Keep them closed.
Because that's what VR needs. These people to fucking go in. Just like games in general. Go in, be weird, innovate, take chances.
You're ashamed of something. Something so terrible, you're trying to blink right past it. Now, the next time that you blink, I'm gonna send you back. And just try to enjoy it this time.
Before your eye. Oh yes, this was that was on phones. And it had the same tech apparently. That was a Netflix?
Bungie gives us a stunning
one of their
look
games,
at
was it?
Destiny 2 Lightfall, which launches on PS5
It was a
next
PC VR game. No, it was a PC game, and then it came to mobile through Netflix's service. But it had that same thing where it had eye tracking to some metric. Okay, I thought that was an original game, but I have heard that name before.
What is that?
I am not a Destiny guy at all.
The witness.
I've toyed with the idea many times, but I have not. I have not and will not partake.
Is at our doorstep.
Lance Reddick getting work. Fair play to him.
Because you fear to seek one. That fear.
Yeah, a VR version of an existing game is cool, but yeah, it's not a selling point. If it was a selling point, then VR would have exploded with Resident Evil 7, but it didn't, you know. I think that stuff's cool. I think it's cool to flesh out the library, but
I understand what's at stake, Lightbearer. Not all of us have lives to spare.
Your fear brings you pain. We know pain.
What is going on in Destiny, brothers? I have no idea.
The battle begins here and now.
I was about to say Lance Reddick getting loads of work in PlayStation exclusive, but I guess this is not an exclusive. They do own Bungie, but they are still supporting Destiny 2 on other consoles. To be fair. To be fair. Alrighty, get excited. Those of you who like Destiny, I assume they're main eventing with Suicide Squad here. Is this, okay, that's like the fourth thing they've shown in this trailer where I'm like, is this like cutesy Zelda? There was the sailing, there was the climbing, there was the parasailing. This looks really cool, whatever it is. Chia, a game inspired by New Caledonia. Alrighty. March 21st. Alright. Always a good thing to keep an eye out on these things is how soon are we talking, brothers? Don't give me none of this nebulous 2024 date. That looks cool. That looks cool.
Chia is one of our most anticipated.
Oh, Snowboy, stop being
games,
cynical.
Launching into the PlayStation Plus game catalog in March.
Oh, they got another one, brothers. Another heavy hitter coming to the PlayStation Plus. That looks cool. I'm not going to slag it off, but come on. Okay, everyone's least favorite Battlefield game. Alrighty. PS5 versions of Uncharted, okay. Chia. Oh, that Rainbow Six game that nobody played, okay. And Ghostwire Tokyo. Yeah, you know, I don't have PS Plus anymore. I don't even have basic PS Plus anymore.
Tetris Effect and Res Infinite.
Okay, okay. Now I'm interested. I'm interested. What's next? I've never played Res Infinite. I probably should because I mean I adore Tetris Effect, so is this a Lemmings type thing? I hate to be this kind of guy, but does this trailer look like they forgot to apply the art to the Unreal Engine demo they were working on? Is that really horrible to say? Please agree with me in the chat so I don't feel like a shithead. Oh god. Oh shit. Okay, mechanically this seems really intense in a cool way. Okay, okay. Okay, so this is completely different to what they've done before. Okay. Is it a... Okay, and it has optional VR. Okay. Is this a game creation tool like Dreams? See, I thought this was some kind of rhythm puzzle game. I'm not clear on what this is. That seems okay, but I'm not clear on what it is. Okay, there's a limited time demo. Okay, we might fire that up. Not on stream, but... Listen, Tetris Effect is phenomenal. So I'll give those guys a shot. Oh, is this that game that's like a biography of a fictional band? I think this was shown on a previous State of Play, and I was like, oh man.
In light of the whole space rock potential demise of civilization thing, my chosen theme feels off.
What's the theme?
Using this year to, make an impact?
Yeah, perfect. Go with that.
Are you okay? You've come into this year kind of intense with the band stuff.
The band is important. Why did she have to just leave? I said it was an emergency.
You did, and it is.
BoJack Horseman poisoned culture. Alright, I'm sick of these fucking depressed anthropomorphic animals. Alright? The most fucking overrated show of the last 5 million years. Oh, I'm being mean today. Look, this might be great.
It's weird how everyone's acting like nothing is different. Like, to me, everything feels different now.
We've always done what you wanted to do, and that's fine. But there's only so much time we have left. How are we supposed to just...
I think this is different from the game I referenced earlier. Goodbye Volcano High. No, that's something different. Okay. I think there was a Microsoft game shown off that was some sort of a story-driven adventure game that was like a biography of a band that looked very similar to that, but no. Never been... I've obviously never... The band game came out, says Mitch? Holy shit, I completely missed that. Was it well received?
I'll just cut you off completely.
We Are OFC or something like that. Yeah, it was We Are something. I can't remember what exactly it was. On the subject of Naruto, I'm obviously not an anime guy, but I've never even been like a filthy casual anime guy. Like I never watched Naruto or Dragon Ball. And I don't feel like an outsider for not watching anime because I actually don't know that many people who did watch anime. But I do feel like an outsider when I tell people I never even watched Dragon Ball, and they're like, "You never even watched Dragon Ball? What the fuck?" To that same end, I also I got into Pokemon in the original wave of hype and then immediately bounced off it. So the cartoon, the movies, the games. I've not played a game since the Game Boy Color. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Naruto is a blank on me.
Protect you to the end.
Sting to the beat of the killer bee heat. Prepare yourself.
Sweet dreams.
How about this?
You'll be eaten alive.
Idiot! Catch!
Lock on.
Go, Choji!
This looks good, animation-wise.
Fire all round.
Super Beast Scroll.
Here I come, Hinata.
From here forth, history will be spun again. And so began their journey. On a path with no end.
Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections.
With this power, I will establish perfect order.
What you describe is nothing more than oppression through force and fear.
My frail little brother.
No.
Dragon Ball is a thing I have multiple times thought about getting into. Because I remember during the absolute peak of Giant Bomb, before kind of things started to fall apart, they did start a Dragon Ball podcast and I was very tempted to get into it. They were watching some abridged version.
I'll tell you a story, true soul. My life was dismantled piece by piece. And when I tried to buy it back...
Alright, Cthulhu game. Every video game company's stream needs to have a Cthulhu game in it.
Death's design will be complete.
Oh, this is Lords of the Fallen reboot, is it?
Discover Gedric's secret. Find out what it is that makes him invincible so we
Oh,
can
no, it's not.
strip him of his advantage.
Alright, Sauron's in this game. Sick. Oh, dice rolling. This is for all my nerds out there. As opposed to the cool guys who watch this shit.
A slave to forces you cannot comprehend.
Ketheric is a frightening man. But you have something he doesn't. Allies worth having.
Together,
we will strike down the Absolute.
Yeah, I'm really not trying to be a messy bitch for this stream, but I'm kind of like, this is one of those ones where in 6 months' time, pull this footage without any labels on it and show it to the average person who would, not the average person on the street, but the type of person who generally keeps up with gaming news, and say, what game is this from? Baldur's Gate 3? Or maybe we're Philistines because people fucking love Baldur's Gate, so maybe we're arseholes for not knowing this. Maybe we're wrong. I'm happy. I will absolutely admit being wrong. But that looked like nothing special to me.
Online multiplayer adventure for you and your friends. It's all set in Evanor, a gorgeous but fallen world. You'll control the chaos through wayfinders. Meet Senja, who likes to get up close and personal.
Okay, I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be an arsehole. I feel like I've shat on every single game they've shown. We're 6 months after release where we're seeing the article about this not being sunset. Do you know what I mean? Am I crazy, or is this straight away screaming like we don't need this? You know what I mean? I'm really not trying to be a dick. I'm really not trying to be a dick. But does this not look like another one of these things?
Quests, collect loot, and hunt bosses like this Titan.
I really never want to be there. Where's my Call of Duty maps? I don't care about this boring shit, but I feel like everything they've shown, I'm just like, ugh. You know what I mean? Play the beta. I don't recognize any of those company names, so I'm not sure who's actually working on that.
We've got big updates on 2 highly anticipated Capcom games, starting with the debut of 3 new characters for Street Fighter 6.
Alright, Street Fighter 6. This is a game that is looking pretty class. I have not bought the last few Street Fighters because Street Fighters is Digital Extremes do Warframe, says Mitch. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm a fucking idiot for doubting them because Warframe is huge. Warframe is absolutely huge. So yeah, maybe purely based on the momentum of being their next game, that will do well. So fair enough. But I watched that, and again, I was kind of like, that's going to be very hard to pick out of a crowd. I have not bought the last few Street Fighters because I feel like those games are kind of... The modern ones I find a little bit inscrutable. And I predominantly like to play fighting games on my own because I always get creamed online. But this one looks like they're doing enough stuff single player that I think I'm going to have to give it a look. And also, it just looks class. I think this game does look class. Hell yeah, Zangief! Talk your shit, king!
I call upon you, great wind. Toi no ikonoi, spirit of the wind. Let yourself become one with it.
This is an original character? This is a new character? Lily? Doesn't ring a bell. This really feels like they're trying to right the wrongs of 5. You know what I mean? 5 came out and it was just a wet fart, it really seemed like.
The voice of the spirit, only I can hear it.
But not the one we're looking for.
Nina Williams! Oh, it's Cammy. The other British secret agent character in a fighting game. Oh, she's fighting on the Monday Night Raw set when they're in London. Hell yeah! Telephone box, boss.
mission awaits.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be the first Street Fighter in years that I buy. June 2nd. Wow, I assume that was known already. That box art sucks. I mean, that discourse topic is worn into the ground, but I will just co-sign it. RE4? Yeah.
Accept the sacred gift. Christ. Like she did.
Temperance, child.
I'm taking delivery, preparing some entertainment.
Man, this looks great.
Ah, the entertainment.
I mean, these remakes and the new Resident Evil engine is phenomenal, and this is one of the best games of all time they're remaking. So, I mean, I got no clever takes on this one. It's just I can't fucking wait for it.
It's always like this with you. How about you open fire instead of your mouth?
Snowboy, you did not miss much. They showed Street Fighter 6. It looks good.
Long time no see.
Major Krauser?
Oh, hell yeah.
Why? You can't save her. You can't save anyone.
Yeah, German suplex. Let's go.
We gotta keep moving forward. We will beat this. Together.
Thanks.
Then come, Sancho Panza. Let us rescue the Princess Dulcinea.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Sorry, bad traffic. One combat shop will compliment the Hunnigan.
Ha! Ha! This is
Yeah, the Donkey Kong Country section.
ahead.
You're kidding.
Ah, yes, the time has come.
Like I told you.
This looks great. This looks fucking great.
I'm gonna get you home safe.
Wait, Jen, have you not played Resident Evil 4, the original Resident Evil 4?
All Leon, and let it be so.
This time, it has to be different.
Oh, I hate that section. Good. The funny thing is, like, Okay, nice. Excellent. Okay, one thing that's good about these remakes is you could probably oh, demo, very nice. Okay, excellent. You could probably just play Resident Evil 4 now, and like you're not necessarily ruining the surprise for yourself on the remake, because those remakes are totally different games. Do you know what I mean? And that looks like a totally different game.
Greatest DC superheroes in this extended look at Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
All right, here we go.
Let's hear from developer Rocksteady Studios.
5 is the one where they go to Africa, and then 6 was the very badly received one, and then 7 brought them back to prominence.
Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League is the next installment in the Arkhamverse and will be releasing this May. It is a third-person action shooter set 5 years after the events of Batman Arkham Knight. Metropolis has been invaded, and you're going in as the Suicide Squad members Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang.
Samoa Joe is King Shark in this, I believe.
A corrupted Justice League. The team has been hard at work at creating the best possible game experience for our players, and we're very excited to share more as part of this state of play. Today, let's take a brief look at one of the missions in our game. The Flash has been corrupted by Brainiac, and as the Suicide Squad, you'll need to work together in up to 4-player online co-op to stop the Flash and rescue Lex Luthor in the process. Enjoy.
Alright. They have been making this game for a long ass time. I hope this shows really well.
Let's bust something up.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a sec. Hello, Brainiac. Is it happening now? Great. You will have Luthor ASAP. Good news! You want Luthor, all you have to do is come and get him.
Here's a trivia note. The last time this team made a game or released a game was before the first Suicide Squad movie came out.
snowball. Time to light them all up.
Incoming Ollie! Out of my way.
Guess Quinn ain't holding anything back for later. Hold my beer, guys. Let's dance.
Alrighty.
That's gonna leave a mark. Focus our fire on this tank. Why do we never get reinforcements? Thunder upon this tank. Yes! Spot you, mate. Love explosion. Up high.
Everything having those little orbs on them for you to shoot seems kind of lame. All the movement seems really cool. It seems like they've like, okay, every character can just Batman their way around the sky. That's cool. You know, I think that's the right way to go about it. Because people are going to want progression from Arkham Knight, and moving around in Arkham Knight. This is the constant weak point shooting. I don't know about that.
Just call me the pinball wizard. Unstoppable.
This is also a completely different tone for them, because the Arkham games, they have their humor, but it's a Batman game, so it's incredibly self-serious. Do you know what I mean? And so now they're going in this route, you know. Yeah, the live subtitles are not great. I can't believe how much weak spot shooting there is in this demo. This long anticipated demo, they've shown so little gameplay. They've been making the game for 9 years. And I can't believe how much of that is in this already. It is online, so I don't know if you saw the leak a couple of weeks ago, Jenda, but an inventory screen leaked that everyone got very upset about because it looks like the most live service-ass video game you've ever seen in your life. Which, again, makes these combat encounters make more sense, where it's just, you're just flying around shooting shit mindlessly, you know what I mean?
You think I'm just gonna let you walk away? And tell these guys everything you know?
And the usual excuses came out saying, oh, it's only cosmetics, and oh, you can play it on your own if you want, blah, blah, but, you know.
At least I'm not a big hero turned stooge for a spaceman.
Okay, Boomerang. You want to see what a real hero can do? I'll show you.
The comic book nerds must be hating this, because Flash could murder all of these people. That's the problem with these good guys get turned evil narratives, is that Flash could obliterate these people.
Please, tell me how.
You have to kill us, Diana.
Oh, this is also Kevin Conroy's last performance. He did finish this game. That's not it. Don't tell me that's it.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League arrives on PS5 May 26th. Rocksteady Studios has even more to share today.
Oh, thank God.
Let's listen in.
I was hoping that wasn't it. This is one of the most celebrated studios ever. They've been making this game for 8 years, and brother, I have not been sold a bit on anything they've shown. Oh, it's gonna be more comedy.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an extension of the Arkhamverse, and it's really about now reframing the story and telling it from the villain's point of view.
Where are we going and who are we killing?
It's a mixture of lots of the things I hope the fans like about Rocksteady, but like a whole massive chunk of new stuff that they've never seen before.
We've always seen Batman's perspective on this world, and we thought it'd be really fun and enjoyable to see this universe, but through the eyes of the villains. We're picking up the story 5 years after.
It's funny though, because the villains are less intense than Batman.
Changed in that time.
Just checking. We're all seeing that thing, right?
I believe Sefton did leave. This team had a very high-profile director departure. 2 directors, I believe.
The Justice League are there to try and save the city, but Brainiac has captured and brainwashed them and turned them against the very people they've been sworn to protect.
Oh, fuck, it's Superman!
So the Justice League share the same goal as Brainiac.
Not even just the gameplay mechanics looking so familiar, but also like how many evil Superman things have we seen? Comics, movies, and like official Superman, but also Homelander, various riffs on evil Superman. Like we've seen it, man.
Remedy this and essentially save the Earth. And
I'm not saying you can't do it anymore, but like
lovable characters into fighting the Justice League in an effort to reclaim the Earth and thwart Brainiac's plans.
Your new mission is to kill the Justice League.
The members of the Suicide Squad are Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and King Shark.
Harley Quinn is definitely the most acrobatic of the crew. She's always moving, she's always flying through the air in kind of barely controlled ways. The feeling of swinging and the momentum and the kind of physicality of it, and trying to keep that momentum going and use that to go over buildings or swing under bridges and chain that into kind of the grapple mechanic that she's got. It just feels spot on.
Movement looks good. I mean, it does. You know, movement does look good.
Freaking superstar.
Deadshot has the iconic Deadshot look, but with a Rocksteady twist. He's got a real swagger to him, and in this game he can also hover with his jetpack. He's super precise. He uses sniper rifles, assault rifles, and pistols, and they all fit with his...
Is that a Riddler trophy I see over there?
His Master Assassin.
Are you on Team Waller, or Team Get the Hell Out of This Mess?
King Shark, to me, as a person, is, well, as a fish, is this incredible character who's super well-read and
I think the problem though is that I don't think people want a fun podcast game out of this. I don't think they want faux Destiny. It's one of the most celebrated studios of the modern era, releasing their first game in 9 years.
In terms of combat, he is a brute.
Do you know what I mean? This is kind of like if here now, 10 years after GTA 5, Rockstar came out, and they were like, here's GTA 6, and all the reviews were like, oh, you know, it's like a 7 out of 10. It's like a live multiplayer thing. It's only GTA Online now. Do you know what I mean? It's like that.
Dodge around in mid-air, taking out the enemies, and then Scarpa because he doesn't want to stick around.
Don't worry, guys. I'm here.
One of the most exciting parts that connects our game to the DC lore are the support squad.
Piss off, Widow.
And you have Penguin, the arms stealer.
You're making guns for us now, Bird Brain.
But also some new faces. Hack, who is a digital ghost that is helping the squad both navigate the world but also upgrade their neck bombs.
That's a big adrenaline spike on a nice bomb sending out.
This. Toyman, who's helping the squad with perfecting gear. And then finally we have Gizmo, who is helping the squad with insane vehicle creations that let you blow shit up.
Metropolis is your playground. You're going to get to meet different characters, different villains, and you really get to see these cool, iconic locations.
Being the city of tomorrow kind of like meant stark contrast with Gotham City.
There is something to be said for how developing a game for this long can undeniably skew your goals.
Metropolis and Gotham is that Metropolis really
things that were hot when you started developing may not be hot when you finish developing.
Everything is done for the city.
I think the best example would be Days Gone. Do you know what I mean? I think Sony Bend are a super talented studio, but they spent like a decade underground, And then they came out and they're like, hey, everyone, open world zombie game. And everyone was like, ooh, where have you been, boys? Like, this is not what we want anymore. And that game was what it was, you know?
To push and pull you around the environment in a battlefield that's constantly changing, working out how to use all your different weapons, your guns, your melee attacks, and how to use them.
Yeah, those 4 support characters are literally all like people to turn your quests into and to buy items off
What's
of.
awesome about gunplay is the variety. So there's 6 core types of weapon families. We've got assault rifles, SMGs, sniper rifles, shotguns, miniguns, and pistols. There's added variety from weapon manufacturers.
There's LexCorp weapons,
Uh-oh.
GCP weapons, there's
Uh-oh.
weapons. Later on in the game,
Weapon
we also have
families.
gear sets. The
Gear
gear
sets.
sets are villain themed. For example, if you have a Bane gear set and you trigger his buffs in the game, some of it will have the Bane drowns and you will like Bane and like boom, 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 and then there's like green smoke and you trigger all kind of effects. So you're basically taking the essence of the villain, you're bringing it into the game.
Each character has a power level in the game that we call gear score. As you acquire new gear in the game, your gear score goes up. And as that number goes up, it means that you can take on much harder missions.
Oh, here we go. Look at these numbers.
More and more builds, more and more ways to customize your character to really fit the way you want to play.
Oh my god, I'm getting a headache looking at that
So
screen.
in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you're gonna get lots of choice to use the weapons that you need.
I'm not looking at Twitter right now. You know, like,
customize your squad.
oh my god.
Whatever you like.
Oh my god.
Whatever you want, any of the outfits, you can be running around in your asylum jail outfit and still have like the best gear score ever.
I like it.
Our game is a 1 to 4 player co-op experience, which means that all the missions in the game have been designed to support solo play, playing with a friend, 2 friends, or 3 friends.
For the single player fans, you can play it in single player with bots filling in the role of the squad, so you still feel like you're part of a team, and you can switch them if you want. I'm going to try King Shark now, or we can say, well, I think Harley will be a better fit for this mission, so I'm going to switch over and I'm going to try her out.
But if you really want to tear it up, going in with a full group of 4 lets you experience the full mayhem the Suicide Squad has to offer.
And you get to really experience the dynamics between how you can all play together in different play styles in order to take on Brainiac.
My other thing with live service games, right,
All the
is
fun is right here.
When the stories
how often
Rocksteady
do you
will
get
continue
3
its legacy of
buddies
supporting the game after its launch.
together to like have a Destiny raid night or what you call it?
For players who
What's
like
the other
to
game?
customize their looks, we'll offer
What's
a
the other
battle
game
pass that only
called?
contains cosmetic
Fucking-
items. There's just going to be so much for the players to enjoy.
The infected money one, The Division. Like, how often do you get your friends together to do that, right? If you're like me, once in a blue moon you get your pals together to have a multiplayer online Xbox night or whatever, right? Games like this where it's designed with 4 people playing together through the story is like, but I'm not, like, I'm an adult with a job, like, and my friends all have jobs. Like, this is a game presumably not aimed at kids, but kids are the only people who have the free time to play an entire game together, do you know what I mean? And yeah, as Jenda mentions, it's also like the people who are into that stuff are already into their own games. Do you know what I mean? They're into their Fortnite or Destiny or whatever.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League arrives on PS5 later this year. We'll be back with more announcements soon. Thanks for watching.
Okay, that was a bummer. That was a that I'll call a spade here, and say that the that state of play overall was not much, and that the Suicide Squad did not do anything to kind of quell the fears about what that game is going to be. I mean, even if they didn't show all the gear score, blah, right? If they didn't show all that live service stuff, I think, hang on, make sure this fucking YouTube doesn't autoplay something stupid. Let me just, here. All right, we'll just pause that. Like, even if they didn't have all that live, whatever the fuck, service stuff in there, that gameplay just didn't do much for me. It's like, okay, the first thing they show is Harley Quinn jumping off a building, and we see her swinging mechanics. I'm like, okay, cool, yes, okay, Harley navigates around, that seems good. And then it's instantly just like a bunch of weak point shooting, and like, then they cut to the other characters, and they're not moving around the exact same way as Harley, but everyone's doing swinging and kind of quasi Spider-Man type stuff. Okay, so everyone moves around, not the same way, but ostensibly the same way. There's a whole heap of enemies, and there's a whole bunch of tanks and helicopters that have massive weak points on them. I mean, it was extremely uncompelling. And the thing about the fears people have about it being a live service game, it's not just the menus and the currencies and the numbers and the gear. It's also that the gameplay would be that, which is that, well, these need to be mission types where you and your buddy can just kind of jump in and do them because you guys want to spend an hour together grinding, right, to get higher gear. So the missions kind of just have to be you go into a world and it's a big combat arena and you can swing around and it's just shoot. Okay, focus your fire on the big guy, shoot, and then that's the game. There is people have a very negative connotation of what level design is when they're getting a live service game, and I think that trailer actually just kind of hammered it home. And then there's the story, yeah. And as Jenna says, there wasn't much of a focus on the story. I mean, the story is just another Superman's bad. Get the Suicide Squad in. I mean, that's fine. You know, it's been done to death, but okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna say all of it landed, but the Arkham story was making some fucking swings. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they took their Batman stories super seriously. And I think the third one in particular, I think they whiffed a lot in the third one. But I feel like Rocksteady at least took that shit super seriously and they had extremely high hopes for it. And this kind of seems like they were like, what would be a cool premise for a live service game? Which is another problem people have with live service games, which is you come up with that idea first and then you taper everything to it rather than coming up with these ideas naturally. I don't think there's I'm not expecting a super compelling narrative where they do interesting things with the Harley Quinn character or the Flash or Batman. I am not expecting that. I'm expecting it to be repeatable missions, fairly basic story, and hey, Batman's a boss. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the the YouTube chat is going crazy. Maybe let's move on from that. let's just close that because yeah, I was trying to be cautious earlier on anyway. Yeah, look, maybe the game will come out and it'll be sick, but you know what's funny? I don't want to be that. Well, I'm not going to bother playing it because it's a live service game. I don't want to say that, but it doesn't. I'm not super compelled at all by that. I'm really not. It's like I thought for the longest time. I know you'll say it's no boy, but I want to be. I've had some fun with live service games. My thing is not even that. Oh, a live service game is instantly shit. Although some people do say that, I'm not necessarily going to argue it. My thing is, I don't want Rocksteady to do it. I don't want everyone to make these games. There's nothing wrong with a live service game, but why does everyone have to make one? Do you know what I mean? That's my problem. And even with that reservation, if they put out this trailer and it was absolutely sick and it made it look like, hey, we're making a cool, big, super narrative-driven game that's very innovative and has a ton of fun mechanics in it. And oh, by the way, there's some live service elements, multiplayer. But they did not do a good job of convincing you it was anything other than what it was. Do you know what I mean? God, that's a bummer. I'm actually really disappointed about that. Yeah, it's just Destiny. It's DC Destiny. And that's depressing. It's also going to be depressing if that game flops, which I'll say this, I don't think it will. I'm sure that game will be massive. I'm sure it's going to be some degree of success. If it flops and they pull the plug on it after a year, it's going to be pretty fucking depressing that a Rocksteady game might disappear off the face of the earth because it was a live service game and the live service elements were discontinued and, it either literally can't be played or it can be played but in a massively compromised fashion because they pulled the plug. I was really disappointed there, and I never played it. Maybe it was shit. I have no idea. But that Crossfire X game where Microsoft, I think, published it, and they had one studio developing the multiplayer, but they got Remedy to develop the single player. Now, I didn't hear great things about it. It's not about it being the best game ever, but they pulled the plug on it, and apparently that means you can also not get the single player anymore. And from a preservationist standpoint, it's shitty that a Remedy single player game is now lost to the ether because it was tied to a live service game, and now it's gone. And I would hate for a studio like Rocksteady to spend the better part of a decade making a game, and if the chart doesn't align properly, it disappears. Do you know what I mean? Actually, yeah. I mean, Garrett brings up a good point. I mean, Avengers flopped hard, and that was at the peak of Marvel madness. I will also say though that I was about to say Avengers showed poorly every single time they showed it. This one ain't exactly knocking them dead either. And that, yeah, I mean, the similarities are actually there because Crystal Dynamics had a great reputation. They're a good studio. Everyone liked them. When you heard Crystal Dynamics and Avengers, you were like, hell yeah, let's go. Good team, good license. And where is it now, you know? Yeah, as I was saying when they showed the gear screen and stuff, I was just thinking to myself, I'm not on Twitter right now, but I know what's getting screenshotted and shared around. It's the fucking gear score. It's the inventory screen. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. There's no two ways about it. There's no two ways about it. And I think on that depressing note, we'll wrap it up. Thank you everyone for watching. I do enjoy these watch-alongs. I think it's fun to watch and chat to you guys and, you know, see what the temperature is on these various games. We'll be back next week. For those of you who didn't hear it on yesterday's stream, next Wednesday we are doing the Hitman map ranking stream. Okay, so be here Wednesday, get your voice heard, weigh in on the most important topic of our age, and help me rank the Hitman maps. Okay, from the three most recent games. Thursday we will finish Time Splitters 2. Okay, and we will start the Punisher. Okay, the Punisher is our next Thursday game, and then for the rest of March, Wednesday will be Half-Life. Okay, so there's a lot of programming notes there, but I'll be posting my schedule soon on Twitter. So thank you very much, everyone, for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the various things we did. I think Time Splitters was shorter this week, but nonetheless, I think there was bang for your buck in that fucking time. And this state of play, you know, certainly gave us a lot to chat about, a lot to chew on. So thanks for watching, everyone. I will talk to you all next week. Have a nice weekend.